Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jamie the Haymaker Hay, here as always with Ian M16 Butlin, and today we're here with the owners of Shinobi. How are you doing, boys?
I'm good, Jamie, thank you, mate.
So, Paul, we'll start with you. Paul, it's been a great road, hasn't it, for Shinobi so far, and it's just ever improving, isn't it?
It's been a long road, I guess. It's 2 years almost to the day we started in D-Side Leisure Centre, so it's fair to say we've come a long way, because just being in this venue says it all, I guess. We had an opportunity to probably be the first amateur show to stream live across the world tonight. Hasn't quite worked out because of Wi-Fi issues, but generally if you look at the show, production's been there from day one, hasn't it, to be honest? Quality of fighters though, the gyms involved, everything else, it gets better and better. I'm not saying it's never the challenge, and the guys will tell you the same thing, but yeah, we've come a long way, yeah.
So you mentioned their production. Ian, how important is it for you to have, even though you're sticking with the amateurs, to have a show that's really well produced and, sort of like, the UFC for amateurs, as John Kavanagh called it?
Yeah, I think when we sat down and launched the business, we wanted to create an amateur show that was as professional as possible. And, Paul's just hit on the production side. I think there's not many shows really in the UK that I've been to, amateur or professional, that sort of put as much effort as we do into the production, and that's sort of key to the vision behind the business, really. Give the amateur guys a professional platform to perform on. So hopefully that's what we're doing.
Tell us a little bit about the team, and obviously you've built up a good team here at Shinobi. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the team and who's involved here.
Team, well, obviously Paul, Tony and myself own the business equally. And yeah, from a team point of view, guys, we set our stall out very early that we were going to try and attract the best. Obviously, we've got you two, particularly you, Ian.
Speaks for itself.
And you have to carry Jamie a little bit at times, but
now he's lost weight, it's a lot easier.
And he is good, and he is getting better, but we've still got to rely on Ian a little bit, haven't we? Yeah. Obviously we use MMA officials and Neil Hall. Again, in my opinion, Neil's one of the best referees out there, one of the most consistent referees, and he's also been a big help to us. If I need any advice and we don't know the answers to the questions, quite often we give Neil a phone call. Medical team, the sponsors, we have a lot of support from our sponsors and partners. So the team, guys, I think is as strong as any in amateur or professional MMA promotions in this country.
And we touched on, as I mentioned, John Kavanagh saying it was like the UFC for amateurs. That wasn't just because of the production. He was saying the way that the fighters are treated, even from being picked up from the airport in the nice Mercedes, all that kind of stuff. Is it important for you to have that kind of thing, Tony, I've passed the question to you, to do the behind the scenes like that and make sure the fighters are looked after?
Yeah, of course, you've got to look after the fighters, you've got to look after everybody on the show. I mean, that's what makes us individual from every other show, because we take the time, effort and care to make sure everyone that's working on the show and fighting on the show is professionally looked after. I mean, otherwise it would not be the professional show that we put on today. You could say it's probably the best MMA show in the country at the moment.
Tony, as well, just sticking with you there, obviously you got involved with the team this year. Tell us a little bit about that and why you got involved with it, really.
Well, to be honest with you, besides seeing a good opportunity, and I'm passionate about MMA, I got involved with the show because these guys are a pair of great business partners, besides being professional at the job and being probably the most two knowledgeable people that I can think of in the industry of putting the show on. And the only other thing I can say besides it being a show, that it's come on tenfold since I've joined it.
I would say, can I just touch on that point? I would say what has improved is the dinners. Since Tony's come on board, we go for better dinners than we used to go on.
I'd like to know, Tony, just why did me and Jamie not get invited to the dinners?
That's a good point, isn't it?
I mean, come on, guys, look like you need any more feeding.
Yeah, he does.
He looks ill.
I'm malnourished.
Can I answer that? It's all about cost control.
I'm going to ask the next question. This is to all three of you, really, and me and Ian talk about this quite a lot. Are we going to see a pro Shinobi show? People are talking about it, people are asking about it. Are we going to see some kind of pro show in the future?
Sorry to interrupt. I have answered that once before, and I think we've spoke about it. We're going to sit down after this show. Guys, listen, there's some things that have gone very well on the show. There's some things we need to improve on. I always make a point of this because I'm very difficult to please, but we need to take the show in a slightly different direction, and we are looking at potentially doing the amateur show, potentially a youth show, potentially a mixed show. Just because you have an idea at the start doesn't mean you can't sort of evolve it. Paul's got some really strong ideas and some good ideas on where we need to take it. I have, Tony has. So I suppose we're going to sit down and amalgamate it, and then have a vote and agree and try and mix things up a little bit.
It's like everything. It's a watch this space moment.
Well, if that meeting's over a good dinner, we'd like to be invited.
There'll be a dinner soon, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, the promoters of Shinobi.
Just one thing, Ian, and it's just worth a mention for me. We've had a gym that supported us from the first show, and I want to give them a shout out. Beyond Black Belt have been with us every show, without fail. They conduct themselves really well. One of the lads is fighting for the title tonight. You know, that's what the show's all about. Gyms turn up week in, week out, you know, every show, and they're a great club. So I just want to give them a shout out, and from the three of us, thanks for all their support.
Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.